let's see, maybe,
Oh
maybe.
yes, I should go on and do our thing on my other device here. So how are you, Kelly?
Pretty good. I am doing the thing too. Maybe it'll work this time.
Yep.
Uh, it does. It's letting me share.
Oh,
Listen, you guys, technology. Some days it works, some days it doesn't. It's got to be user error because you know it's I mean, the code is the code. So I'm figuring I've got to be doing something wrong.
right. Now
Although,
I just have to say, I will just say before we jump into things, I just pulled this up on Facebook and I see you posted the new 9883-digit
yes,
National Suicide Prevention Life Crisis number. So that is huge news right there, especially in our
how
world.
exciting! Just 988. That's it.
988. None of this
But it
won't
doesn't.
So I'll have to remember, at the end of the night when we do our thing to, just say.
It's coming though. It's not live yet.
Oh, it's not live yet? Oh, so it's coming. Gotcha.
I think it's probably the April 24th date. So it didn't
Oh,
say.
I didn't even see that far ahead.
Yeah. And so we may, it's like one of those, like, can I call? But I don't want to call. But I want to make sure it's live, and I don't trust the internet to tell me that it's live. But I guess it is what it is. But we're gonna have to start using 716 for our local numbers.
Yeah.
My issue is, do I have to reprogram all of my?
Wait, are you serious? Wait, say that. Run that back. So you're saying like for phone numbers, we're gonna have to use 716 for everything?
You have to use a 10-digit phone number.
Say what? Say what?
April
Say
24th.
what?
Yeah, man. April 24th.
Why can't they just keep it simple, people?
Because someone's got to be getting paid, right? There's a million.
Oh yeah, well, likely there's a method to the proverbial, dare I say, madness, which is, I guess that's a stigmatizing term, which I don't like to use, but someone's making some money off of it. You're saying, which I definitely would not doubt.
So there's 82 areas that are moving to the 10-digit phone number, and we're one. So I think because 988 is starting, they're taking this opportunity to move to the 7-digit number, and so to be required, it's like you don't have a choice. I don't know. It'll probably register all of the first 3 numbers of the phone number as the area code.
Yeah.
If you don't put 716, so you would have only dialed like half a number. I don't know how it's going to roll out.
Yeah. I get it. Well, in a way, it makes sense. Well, I mean, honestly, when I put numbers on my phone, I put 716 anyway, usually, because I just do. I don't normally just put the regular number. I've usually put 716 just for the heck of it. Or when people call, I just, lock it in and 716 automatically. So, it's not a huge leap. I suppose it's going to make me do it. Anyway, let's talk about other things.
So, did you say hi to Tom? I
did. Yeah, Tom. Thank you. Yeah, so let me tell you. So Tom is someone who is in the training and consulting business. I've known Tom for many years, and so Tom has done a lot of work in the area of workplace wellness and work with business organizations. And so the last time I saw Tom in person was just before COVID. I think it was February, when I did a training for the town of Tonawanda Police. For some recruits, and he was in right before me. It was part of their orientation. Anyway, he's right before me, and I came right after him. So, hello, Tom. Thanks for joining us. Oh, and William.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. William says Washington's been that way for years now. So, my cousin William's out in Washington State.
Most larger markets, you have to dial the area code first. But
interesting. Well, okay. I didn't realize. Okay, I'm slow to get up to here, Kelly. You have to remember, like I said before we jumped on, I'm all out of whack in terms of my sleep and so forgive me for not fully understanding your full message. But I think I'm catching on here.
About the area code?
Yeah.
Oh, because we have. Okay. So we're having a conversation you guys weren't privy to. Before we went live, we started, talking.
Yeah.
So you're now at the tail end of the, inside conversation
Yeah.
about zip
But
code.
tonight our topic is
Emotional eating.
emotional eating. Yes. Yes.
These are all emotional eating pounds right here.
Yes. Yes.
And COVID's been brutal. This
Well,
year's
for a lot
been,
of people,
yeah.
I mean, the COVID-15. They're talking about the COVID-15. That's no joke.
It's going to be the COVID 50. Like it's rough, but thankfully the weather's breaking, and for us cool weather folks, that means we can get outside more. I know my life really changed physically last year when I started cycling more often.
Yes. And you were the cycling queen.
Listen, Karl, I actually bought a bike. It's on the other side of this wall. It's killing me. I get to like 3 minutes, and I'm like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. Now I'm at 15 minutes, but
It takes time. You gotta work back into it.
it's rough. I don't know, guys. I mean, I will get back out there. I love to cycle, but and so I think in that absence of having things to do, in addition to being in the house all the time, like that was one part of it. But I was in the house all the time last year. But being able to get out and get fresh air and ride and just feel the wind, and that was really great therapy for me. Very, very therapeutic being out. And since then, so I did gain. I gained the freshman, the COVID 15. Then I lost that plus some during the summer biking towards the end of the season. And then since October, my last ride was in October, I've gained back that COVID 15 plus a couple. And yeah, it's not cool. And because all of my comfortable clothes have spandex in them, I don't really realize I gain weight until I start working at UB and have to wear work clothes. Like, these guys don't fit the way they used to.
Yeah.
Vicky bought a scale and scared her into no eating. Yeah. I did the exact opposite. I see it and I'm like, I'll come back to you later. I've got some cake in the fridge I need to talk to. But it's real. It is truly a method that folks use. I am one for self-soothing, instant gratification of working through whatever that thing is that you don't want to work through, or it's difficult to work through, or you can't even articulate. But I'm an emotional eater regardless of the emotion. Like, I think it's a great way to celebrate. It's a great way to grieve. It's a great way to be bored. Like, no matter the emotion, there is a food that works for that particular thing.
Yeah. It's funny how, of course, food has such an instant gratification kind of attachment to it. I mean, it's immediate. As soon as it touches your tongue, the taste buds go wild, right?
Yeah.
And don't let it be something you really enjoy eating.
Oh.
Then it's like because honestly, so think about it this way: if we know that sugar, and I'm learning a lot about this for myself, because I mean, sugar has always been my downfall, and I'm learning about it more recently since I came back from Costa Rica, since I'm trying to cut back significantly. Like I'm not eating much today. I had a donut. Truth be told, I had a donut. But for what it's worth, I haven't had a lot of sugar since I've been back. But it's like the cravings and just the fact that as soon as it touches the tongue, and as soon as you bite into it, it immediately goes to the brain. It immediately goes to that pleasure center that is more powerful than cocaine.
Yes.
It's like a powerful drug. Yeah. Now, some people do that with the savory, with salt. Or it could be anything, any kind of food.
That was going to be my point. It could be anything.
It could be anything. right?
Bread.
I love chicken wings, right? So don't put a plate of chicken wings in front of me. Like I will dive in head first, right, up to my arms.
So I love wings, but they're not my thing. Very moist cake.
Time out. Let me say this. Victoria says we have to start asking ourselves how we might feel after we eat something not good for us. So hold that thought, Victoria, because I want to say something about that after Kelly says what she has to say. Hold on to that thought more, Victoria, because I got some for you here.
So I don't remember what I was going to say.
I apologize.
So you go.
I apologize. No, I apologize. I got so excited when I saw this because this directly relates. Now, do you remember, did I say this last week that I was meeting with a functional medicine doctor?
Yes. I don't know
So
if it was in our conversation.
I don't know if I had it on screen, but anyway, I met with a functional medicine doctor last Thursday to talk about some of my own particular health concerns. Boy, it reaffirmed what I learned in Costa Rica about food and things that may not be good for my health. Of course, Costa Rica focused on diabetes and sugar and just foods, carbs, things that aren't healthy for diabetes, but also relates to some issues that I don't have diabetes, but I have other related issues that could, go that way. When I talked to this functional wellness doctor, I said, she said, well, what's your typical lunch? What's your typical breakfast? So it took an hour and a half, Kelly, with this doctor. Mm-hmm. It was one of the most thorough appointments I've ever had. It was great. She's wonderful. Dr. Sylvia Regala. Just a little plug for Dr. Regala, who's wonderful. Been in the business for 20 years. So anyway, she said, typical lunch. I said, well, typically this or that. I've been, doing well since I got back from Costa Rica. I said, however, this past Saturday, I really went off the rails. I went to Burger King. Whopper meal and all. I said, I did it. I was being truthful. I'm not going to lie. But you know what she said to me, though? And this is the amazing thing. So one thing that she's talking to me a lot about is inflammation. And we know that inflammation is a major, major problem when it comes to, or risk factor, I should say, for a lot of health issues of all kinds, including mental health and otherwise, and physical health. She said that Whopper increases the inflammation markers in your body for at least 24 hours. Really? So she said, is it that, and so this points to what Victoria said, we have to start asking ourselves how we might feel after we eat something not good for us. That's the point. So in other words, is that momentary gratification of really all you're going to get is probably 10 minutes maybe after the fact, after you've eaten it's all gone. All you have is that pit in that lump in your stomach of saying, why'd I eat this? Which happens. But is that worth it for the long-term effects on your health? And it's gonna be, now I'm not saying I made it, Kelly. It's not, trust me, I'm not there. I'm working on it. This is all new to me. But it's also effective. Like last week, I've been struggling with my mood last week. And a lot of it has to do with this realization that, frankly, I'm not going to be able to do what I used to do. It's like when a person is diagnosed with diabetes and you tell them, you're going to have to make some changes. That is a significant mental and emotional shift.
It is. Which, honestly, it goes back to, and we've talked about this, raising healthy children, right? So that in adult life, we are less, as a society, then we are less prone to end up in these chronic disease states. And the interplay between, we talk about, the relationship between food and mental health, and, sugar, everyone knows is my weakness. And how sugar inflames the body. I met with Alexa Wadjet. She's a chef as well as artist and creative. And she and I were meeting about my diet. And I'm starting my greenhouse, and I want to know what to grow this year. And there's food that I'll just grow some stuff because I like growing those things, but I really want to grow food that I can eat.
Right.
I figure the more food I have, because I don't want to waste food, so the more food I have that I can eat, I think the more likely I'll be to eat it. We'll see. I'll come back in 9 months or so, and we'll see where this conversation goes.
Right.
But not just sweets and salty foods, but comfort food.
Right.
Potatoes with loads of butter and, oh my gosh, mac and cheese. And the foods that bring us the greatest joy eating are like the worst foods for your body overall. And I continue to eat those foods, right? Like, Vicki, I know that dairy is horrible for me. I know that sugar actually causes back pain for me, Karl. That does not prevent me from eating a bag of Starburst jelly beans when I'm in the middle of an emotional, let's say, not crisis, but needing of soothing through food.
Right.
I know that it's going to have a negative effect on me. I know my stomach is going to be swollen. I know my back is going to hurt to the point where I have shooting back pain, and I still eat the food, which goes back to, Vicki's point as well. There's more to it sometimes than just that moment of sensation. So if I can say that this is going to bring me pain for a week, this one bag is going to bring me pain for a week, but I still eat the bag of candy, there's something else in that equation that I need to address.
Yes.
Sugar is of the devil. I'm going to put that out there.
You said it.
Ain't nothing good right there. You cannot say because of sugar we have cured anything besides capitalism, right? That's the only thing sugar has helped cure. But it's make the more that people buy.
And I'll say something about that too. So it comes down to this, and my wife actually taught me this a while ago. You have to train your senses.
Yeah.
And she learned this idea, this concept years ago. So we have a meditation group at our church. She's been a member of this meditation group for over 20 years. They've been doing this for a long time. And there's this one meditation teacher, Eknath Easwaran. Actually, Eknath Easwaran died years ago, but he started a whole movement, mindfulness, one-pointed attention. I mean, he's like one on the forefront of this whole thing. And but one of the things he talks about is, training your senses. And what we're saying by that is that if you want to, say, for instance, get healthy, you learn to train your senses to like things that maybe at one time you weren't as fond of, but can learn to like. For instance, for me, I like sugary drinks. So what I've been trying to do is, and I've been doing this at home, making green tea, maybe throwing some lemon in it, right? As alternative to, Tim Hortons sweet tea, which was my go-to, or worse yet, Dr. Pepper, which is really my go-to, right? And then just using that as a means of training. Now, remember, it's also when you go through this process, it's like you're using this process of neuroplasticity with the brain. You're rewiring the brain to function in a different way, and that takes practice. In other words, the old 21 days to make a habit is true, right? If you are able to do that consistently over a period of time, your brain will actually change. But it takes consistency, it takes practice, it takes hard work, it takes accountability, it takes a partner sometimes, it takes effort. It's like, so in other words, it's not just something simple, I'm just going to stop this. No, it takes work, but there are tools to help us with these things. Meditation is a good one for that.
And so I go back to needing to add meditation back into the, my list of practices. But it also does not help living in a society where sugar is in everything.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
from toothpaste to barbecue sauce to, I mean, it's just, you can't escape it. I mean, you can escape it, but it is difficult to escape.
Right.
Salt is easier, but I mean, it is rough. And if we know for a fact that sugar and salt have these negative effects on our body, why are we continuing, we as society, not, why are we continuing to push these drugs on people? We know how much sugar causes or costs the healthcare system in the long run, right?
You know what? I believe now. This is my own belief, but I believe it's part of the machine. We're part of this capitalistic machine that feeds off of itself. And I mean, one of the reasons I went to this functional wellness doctor, and right, actually, Victoria, you're right about the idea of finding alternatives. But you said, Victoria, you said apples with people. I'm going to push back on that and say not even apples, but maybe like low glycemic sugars, which is what Dr. Regalis said to me. Berries are even better because they're low sugar, right? Because apples still have high sugar content. Now, mind you, you might need to make that transition.
But I'm going to say that having apple slices with a spoon of Nutella or is way better than the 2 for $5 family bag of Skittles at Rice. Like,
I agree. No, I'm
just going to say.
No, but I mean, but so the idea though that we've got so yeah, you're right, baby steps, you're right. But I think like but the idea though is that if we are able to be done, right? But the goal is to shift our palate.
Right. One of us is breaking up. I'm not sure if it's me or you.
The thing with I think it's me. I don't know why. I had this problem earlier with my internet, and I don't know why, because we're supposed to have really good internet. But anyway, I think I know why. I'm having too many damn things open. Hold on a second. I'll close this. Oh shoot.
Just don't close this one, Karl. Leave this one open.
I don't know why. Let's see, cancel. I don't know why I just did there. Anyway, sorry.
Yes,
but anyway, so really the whole system kind of feeds on itself. That despite the fact that we're told we should be healthy, like watch TV, like you get insurance commercials or medication commercials, about all kinds of medications, and then you get in the same respect it's ridiculous, the mixed messaging, and the mixed messaging keeps people confused. That's what it comes down to. Right. This is very confusing. So one thing I learned in Costa Rica, and also from Dr. Karl, is that you have to read your labels. Read the labels from the stuff that you buy. It's amazing what's in food. And bread, carbs, right? Carbs is a big one, right? Exactly. Carbs, totally carbs.
So really,
it's converted to sugar.
Processed food. So for me, I had to take it to, which I need to do again, right? Is just to eliminate processed food from my diet.
Yes.
Because I don't care if it's sugar or salt or a bowl of rice. Like if you make it the right way, it's gonna be good. And I see Nikia's comments, and that just hurts my heart. But I know that that's what I need to do, right? But it's tough with when you talk about support systems. There's nobody. I really feel like I'm gonna have a partial breakdown. I'm not exaggerating, you guys. Like the separation from sugar is real.
It is real.
And there's no buffer here. Like there's nobody to talk to. There's no, hey, let's play a game. Let's, it's just me in a house full of something. If I threw away all sugar, there's something in this house that I can make that will satisfy that, that craving short term, and I'll eat whatever that thing is biscuits, like bread and water, and to like then fulfill that need for the sugar. It's just
You know what? So real quick, you know what it made me think of? 'Cause I know we're running. Wow, sorry, almost 5 minutes.
oh my
But
gosh.
anyway, it made me think of this. So one thing it made me think of is that when you there's Miriam. So let me say hi to Miriam. Miriam is behind Keto Chow, and Miriam is the co-owner of Keto Chow, and Keto Chow is a meal replacement for those on keto, and very, very excellent product, which actually uses sucralose, which is not sugar. It is a sugar substitute. So anyway, just want to make that statement. But anyway, so I was thinking about this just the other day. When it comes to like exercise, how hard to get motivated, right? And I realized, especially if you don't have, like I said, that accountability partner, it takes intrinsic motivation. In other words, the motivation has to come from within to make these changes. And that's sometimes hard because that's when you really have to dig deep and like, and it's not about willpower, and I'm not calling it willpower, but there has to be an intense desire and passion to make that change. So for instance, when it comes to something like a change with food, same kind of thing. That desire to change has to be coming from within. You can't always, it's great to have all these tools, but the bottom line is you're the one in the driver's seat. You're the one who has to make that decision.
Right.
No one can make it for you.
Right.
Because you're the one who's left with you. It's like addiction, Kelly. When I first stopped using over 33 years ago, I had to be the one to make that decision to stop. I mean, I had to be the one to make that decision not to be around the people that could affect me, and then the places and the things as we choose it. Like when I went to Tim Hortons today to get that coffee for Susie, that's a place, right? That's a dangerous place for me. I'm just being honest.
Right.
So we have to be careful about even sometimes where we go, and it's like it is a shift, and it takes time, and it takes effort. But think about it this way. I thought about this too, and like I said, I'm a work in progress. I'm being totally honest, but I thought about this yesterday because I'm giving a lot. I thought maybe too much, but every time I eat something that I'll just say it this way: is it a good food choice? How much am I taking away from my life? How much? It's like they say with cigarette smoking. Every time you smoke a cigarette, how many minutes are you taking off your life with every cigarette you smoke? So, and it's sometimes hard to have that long view on things. But then again, I know of people in my life, Kelly, who did not have that long view, who died from not making these changes. My mother, Kelly, died at the age of 66, having had multiple health issues in her life, including hypertension, breast cancer, diabetes, which resulted in kidney failure, dialysis, and then she died from a heart attack at the age of 66.
And so
when she was diagnosed with diabetes, she did not change her diet, Kelly, nor did she exercise.
I take you back to, if we know, right, the dangers of sugar, salt, excessive carbohydrates, processed food, we know this, but yet and still, as a society and individually, but still as a society, this is what lines the show. This is what's in every commercial.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to throw around legal terms, but that's like negligent homicide or we're purposely setting the path for people to die.
Right. Okay. That's
like something that some people enjoy here and there. We wouldn't have the rates of diabetes, obesity, high blood pressure. Like those would not be issues if people were eating in moderation. But we know
let me go a step further, Kelly. Let me go a step further with communities of color. Let's get real. How communities of color are affected when it comes to disparities, when it comes to choices, when it comes to food delivery, food apartheid. I'm not even talking about food deserts. I'm talking food apartheid. All these issues affect the health of a culture of people that has been disproportionately affected since the Middle Passage.
Right.
So you're talking about changing generational trauma. you don't want to throw some trauma into it if you really want to get real.
Right. And yet, and still, people cannot see or understand why people choose to eat fast food. Well, when you're surrounded by nothing but fast food or packaged food, at least the fast food is hot. If it is a matter of right, sugar is big business, food, desserts, right? So if money is really the answer and issue surrounding all of this, right, we're still dying.
Yep. I want to make another comment too, and this is, I'm trying not to come off judgy, although this is going to sound interesting. So as a result of the pandemic, I do the shopping in my house. My wife is immunocompromised, so I've been shopping on our behalf, and I don't mind a bit. I put my earbuds in, I just walk around, I ignore everybody. But since I came back from Costa Rica, like I said, Costa Rica was a huge eye opener for me. When I walked to that store with my shopping cart, mind you, we're Kelly, I'm privileged to be able to buy healthy food.
Mm-hmm.
So privileged, and I mean, I never take that for granted. But when I push that shopping cart around, the store, and I see what people purchase, and I'm more aware of it now because I just observe. I'm like, damn, look at that. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to be in the place of someone who judges. But it's also the idea, like, when someone who does quit smoking, and then all of a sudden they realize people smoke and they're like turned off by things. It's like, wow, like, look at that. Like, I'm like, God damn. And also, I'm sorry. I let it go there. I apologize for swearing. I don't mean to be like that. But I was like, damn, like, wow, like, look at that cart. Like, but it's like, it just blows my mind. And it's like, we live in a nation of plenty where there's just so much for so many, but so little for so many others. And there's this great divide.
And so
but even for the ones who have the privilege, there's still that path of poor nutrition that's followed.
And it's learned behavior. I mean, and there are people that have never had a processed anything, and if they had a candy bar, right, it would be so sweet. It would be wow, like it'd be so foreign and disgusting, honestly. Yet and still, we continue to use food to manage our emotions, and there are layers, of course, and we can probably talk around this topic for a while, especially as it relates to social determinants of health and racism and poverty and education and, access. And the use of the word apartheid versus food desert. Apartheid is purposeful and strategic.
Right.
The lack of access to healthy foods is purposeful and strategic in poor communities.
Right.
In the United States, proportionately, poor communities are made up of Black and brown people. So whether it is specifically an issue of race or an issue of convenience, whatever someone thinks the underlying issue is, the point is people are still sick and dying because of policy.
Right.
Sugar, the sugar industry, that's policy, right? How come sugar and the amounts of sugar that we use isn't regulated by the FDA, or I'm saying make it illegal, but change food restrictions. And there are ways to go about creating a healthier society from a systemic place, from an overarching place. And when you add mental health challenges and mental illness to that equation, it's just exacerbated.
Mm-hmm.
And so that change to feeding ourselves healthy things, not just food, but healthy movies, healthy books, music, sights and sounds, all of the senses, right? When it comes to feeding ourselves healthy things, it is societal issues that we have to address in order to make the day-to-day decisions easier. towards a picture of health, right? And I could go on forever.
Let's see what Nakia, this is great. So Nakia says, I'm amazed with the number of families that we work with in our virtual cooking. Oh, yes, cooking class. You got it right here. Most have no idea how to use raw vegetables. We provide a fresh produce box and all the reasons. I want to give a shout out to a local.
Karl, listen, are these people paying us? You're shouting out a whole lot of people. Are they giving us money?
Do you know? So I know, Kelly, you know Allison Dehoney of Urban Fruits and Veggies.
Yeah.
Allison Dehoney of Urban Fruits and Veggies, who's getting ready to kick into another season, I know, of great work in the community with community gardens and providing fresh fruits and vegetables through the Community Health Center of Buffalo. That's one of the places where she provides food. But even access to these foods is important, to give options and to teach people how to prepare them, like you said, Nakia. That's the thing, so how to prepare.
We have to do more than provide. We have to teach how to prepare. Because if the taste buds are not acclimated to Swiss chard or string beans or beet juice, right, it's going to sit on the shelf and rot. And so even when we talk about bringing healthy foods and healthy alternatives to people, we have to also provide them with the wraparound services that they need in order to be able to make those healthy changes. How to cook the food so that it also tastes good. I mean, you can just put it in a pan and heat it up. But do you want to eat that when you have the choice of this other food that is delicious and still, not healthy for you? Oh, the BMI scale, that's a whole nother question, whole nother conversation. They do. And also not only shaming people that are over this weight number from the 1920s, but also the notion that thin people are healthy, right? Every thin person is not healthy. It just means that the calories that they take in are less than the calories that they use. That's all that means. It doesn't mean that their blood pressure is better or diabetes, although diabetes is a little bit different. But still, this notion that thin is healthy is detrimental to us as well. And we miss people that have mental illnesses, right? We congratulate people for losing weight, and we don't know if they've lost weight because of issues with bulimia or an eating disorder, or if this is something that they chose to do, or someone that feels healthier in their skin in a bigger body. Then we shame that person for gaining weight. This cycle of lack of support, right? Of needing to make victims out of people, and shaming people and bullying people that don't fit this normalized view, which really isn't normal, has got to change. It's got to change.
Yeah.
Vicky's
so anyway,
this is
going to be quite a program.
Indeed. It's 9:08.
I think we lit some people up there, Kelly. We lit some people up.
I agree. I didn't get a chance to copy and paste all of our resources in here. I will do that. I will do that fairly soon. Everyone will be able to use 988 to reach the Crisis Services Hotline and National Suicide Prevention Hotline. That's very exciting news. The bill was signed last year and a half ago or so, and the FCC has just approved it. So they have 30 days in order to implement parts of it, which is going to require 716 folks to begin using 716 in order to make your local phone calls. So when Karl gives you the number for Crisis Services and Mental Health Association, you definitely want to dial 716 prior to all of those numbers. If you are experiencing a medical emergency, please dial 911 or head over to your nearest emergency room. We want you to receive the medical care that you need, and COVID is not a reason to stay home when your life is in danger. If you are looking for information, you can call 211. You don't know who to call. You don't know who offers what service. They have a database right there. They can do a keyword search for you and get you the resources that you need. You can also go to 211 in your web browser, and you can do your own personal keyword search. Karl?
Yes, and if you're looking for information on mental health resources in Western New York, you can call the Mental Health Association of Western New York at 716-886-1242. If you are in need of crisis services, we know there are times when individuals might feel at risk of taking their lives. And then we know that COVID, those issues have increased. People have had increased thoughts of suicide. So we know that you can call Crisis Services of Erie County at 716-834-3131. If you're in Niagara County, you can call 716-285-3515. And for right now, at least, that national number is 1-800-273-8255, 1-800-273-TALK. That number is going to change to 988, like we said, it's on April 24th, right? And then we're going to go to text help to 741-741 if you want to use that method.
And with that, we thank you so very much for joining us. I am Kelly Marie Wolford, founder and principal of Front Seat Life, LLC, and
I'm Karl Shalahorn from Shalahorn Consulting, LLC.
And he's the founder and president there too.
Yeah.
You're talking to two great people. Until next time, where you get to talk to two great people, be the light.
Be well.